Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, the high performance mentor, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show raises the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open, it's just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Yo, straight up sharing some things that when I first found out about it, I was like, damn, that shit hurt me, dog. But I lost shirt. I thought I was going to hit day 1001 on my 40th birthday. And it turns out that I was off by 1 year. That's fucking crazy, right? It's fucking wild. And I've been knowing already that I wasn't gonna hit my 1001 day on my 40th. Like I found out probably 6 months in, you know? And what was wild about it though is that mistake, me being off by 1 year. And I say this because, I guess let me take it a step back. I just turned 40, right? I just turned 40 last week, like a week and a half ago, right? And so when I started on this journey of 1,000 days, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit it 1,001 when I turn 40, right? I'm gonna build this guy up, that is gonna be great. I'm gonna build myself into the man who I wanna become, right? And then like when I started doing it, someone was like, yo, you're off by a year. And I was like, oh, no way, no way. And I was like, yo, you're off by a year. I was like, no way. And then I sat down and I did the math. I did my spreadsheet and I realized that I was really off by a year. And I was like, holy fucking shit. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to keep rolling it. And the mistake that ended up being mine, it actually ended up being the greatest gift that God could have gave me. Why? Because, dog, I'll be transparent as fuck. This week, I've been exhausted. This week, I've had two back-to-back events, weekends where we're out of town and we're making it happen and we're fucking showing up back to work on Monday. We're doing long days, still hitting the workouts, still hitting the non-negotiables, still getting things ready. Like, dog, I've been non-stop specifically going ham these last 2 weeks. Like, I've been going ham for a while, but these last 2 weeks, I was like on sprint mode, going extra hard. And straight up, I didn't feel like doing anything after. After I hit my 40th, I was like, yo, I don't want to do anything. I just want to chill. I want to relax. I want to put my feet up. And that's when it hit me. Yo, the habits, they still get done. That's when I realized that this wasn't about me like not doing this anymore. This wasn't about me hitting day 1001. This actually was about me becoming the man who doesn't fucking quit. And that is the message that I wanted to share today about not that I was off by 1 year, but me being off by 1 year actually being what God intended for me to have so that I can continue building the man who will not quit. And this is what this is all about. You see, early in the journey, dog, when everything required effort, when I was like, oh, day 100, I was like, fuck. When even taking a step back, when I was like day 10, day 20, day 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, all those shits, all those, the beginning, right? Right now I'm like on day 650 or something like that. And that's wild because I think back when I first started this journey early on, dog, everything required massive amount of effort. Everything required me negotiating with myself, me depending on the motivation for me to do the things that I said I was going to do because it was difficult. It was challenging, right? And guess what? This week, doc, I've even more tired. I've even more drained. I've even have zero motivation. And that is what brought this to light. Despite me not feeling like doing it, despite me feeling drained, despite me not having motivation, despite me wanting to fucking throw every excuse that I have at the book and why I don't want to do this shit, I still got the journaling done. I still got the prayer done. I still got the workout done. I still got the connection done. I still got the passion done. I still got my things done because I said that I was gonna fucking do this shit. And that's what it's all about. No debate, no emotion, just identity shifts. And that is when it hit me. If God would have gave it to me how I asked for it, the shift wouldn't have happened because the shift has required me to become the man who doesn't quit. And the shift, and I like me just turning 40 and me looking up to 41 and now knowing that when I hit 41, I will hit 1,000 a day, 1,001. I'm like, yo, it's not about the count. It's about the journey. It's about who you need to become in order to do the things that you said you were going to fucking do. And so when I say that it's God's plan over my own timeline, it's fucking true. 1000%. This was all meant to happen. You see, I wanted a milestone. But what God wanted, what God knew that I needed, was a transformation. Two fucking different things. A milestone is something you go and you achieve on and you pass by and you're gonna hit it done. But the transformation is who you become along the journey that you pass that milestone. And so 1,000 days, I used to think that that was the finish line. When I get to 1,000 days, that's the finish line. But the reality is that fuck no. 1,000 days is just the foundation of who I create, of the man that I want to become. And so when I get to 1,000 day one, it hit me that day. I was actually walking with my wife and I was like, yo, you know what's a fucking cool that I thought about the other day? I was like, I'm gonna treat each 1,000 days like another phase. Because at the beginning, I was focused and hammered and I went almost a year. I think I went more than a year. I just have to check my notes without missing anything. And then life happened. You know, I have one slip up or another slip up, or never twice in a row. I'll make that clear. But I've had some days where I haven't showed up. I've had some days where I tripped up. I've had some days where I forgot, right? And that is building the foundation. And so what I was going to with this message is that every 1,000 days is going to be another opportunity for me to go at this again and again and again. Because the 1,000 days is the foundation of what you create, of the identity that you want to become, of the man that you want to become, of the foundations that you want to put in your life, so that when shit gets hard, because it will get hard, you prove to yourself that you are the man that shows up. You see, the business timeline, the body timeline, the financial timeline. We all have fucking timelines for what we want in our life. And being behind might actually be part of the process. Have you ever thought about that? You see, the delay wasn't a mistake. The delay, it was more time for me to become who I needed to become in order to transform how I was thinking and how I've been acting and how I've been showing up. Because if I would have hit 1,000 days right now as I turned 40 and feeling how I was feeling, I would have probably thrown my feet up and be like, I'm gonna take a break. But then I realized and I reflected and I looked back and I was like, nah, it's not about that. It's about transforming into the man who does not give up. It's about becoming the man who sets his identity in who he wants to be. Straight up. I want to be the man who doesn't quit. I want to be the man who never gives up. I want to be the man who shows up despite being hard. I want to be the man who people can count on. I want so many things. But you got to go and look at is how do you create the foundation for that man? And how is by showing up day after day after day after day after day after day and stacking those reps when you don't want to do it. And that is how you build the identity. You see, the habits are not tasks, my brother. The habits, they are identity reps. And when you can shift your mindset on, oh, this is just tasks that I got to hit. Oh my God, it's fucking 11 tasks that we got to hit every day. Oh my God, it's the journaling, it's the meditation, it's the prayer, it's the scripture, it's the green juice, it's the working out, it's the wifey connection, it's the family or friend connection, it's the bank accounts, it's the one intentional action with your legacy, it's the motorsport connection. When you think about hitting those 11 tasks, you're like, oh my God, that's a fucking lot to do despite your whole fucking day, right? But then when you look at it as those are identity reps, those are reps that you must do in order to create the man that you want to create, that shit just starts becoming different. And your pillars become the reframe of the man that you want to do, of that you want to become. And so when you hit that journaling, you are a man who leads with his mind. That's what that's about. About grabbing what's in your mind, putting that on paper or on your phone or whatever it is, and transforming, processing those thoughts so that you can lead with a clear mind. Similar thing with praying. You are a man who is under authority. You surrender to a greater power. You trust in God's plan. Similar in the training. You are a man of strength. And when you realize that you need to train, that you need to earn the things in life, that is when you become stronger. That is when you become more meaningful. That's when you realize that, yo, I'm literally becoming the man that I said I wanted to do by me doing the things that I didn't want to fucking do. That's the fucking thing right there. Similar thing with checking your accounts. Like, I don't want, some days I'm like, oh, why the fuck am I gonna check this thing? But then when I realize, and I'm like, yo, this is how we become a wealth builder, by tracking everything. And if I can't stand to look at my bank account because it's so low, and I'm like, then I gotta fucking hit it right there. I gotta fucking realize that that is what's need to be looked at. That is what I need to see in order to create a better version of myself. Same thing with calling family or with checking in, right? Like, you got to look at yourself as a relationship builder, as a relationship leader, as the man who leads from the front with the things that he does, not just with the things that he says, because it's so easy to do the things, to say the things that you want to do rather than actually following through with the action for that. Think about it. You know a person that could come up to your mind right now that is talk, 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 but that doesn't walk the walk. And that is not what we're about. We're here to build the foundational elements that create the wide open warrior. See, you don't become a badass rider on event day. You become a badass rider one day at a time, training, going to work on yourself, pushing the limits, making it happen one day at a time. See, motivation, it does the task, dog. But identity, it does it automatically. And this is what this is all about. This is what these non-negotiable tasks have become for me in my life. It's about making sure that I engrave this so deep into who I am that by the time day 1001 hits, it's just like another day. You see, you're never done, my brother. And that is the win. That's when I realized. I was like, holy shit, it's not just about the 1000 days. It's about engraving the identity of a warrior that does not quit. And at 40, dog, I can tell you I'm feeling better than ever. I'm actually in the best shape of my life. Mentally, physically, spiritually, in all fucking areas. I feel on fucking fire, dog, straight up. And yet I'm still not satisfied. And that's healthy. That is badass. That is fucking, I crave for that shit, because the mission is this: continuous expansion, continuous growth, continually getting better every single day. And so when I say that, if I would have hit 1000 days at 40, I probably would put my legs up and chill for a little bit. Man, I mean it. Because I'm a man, I'm human, I fail, I trip up, just like all of us here. But then I realized that the shift needed to happen internally for me to realize that it's not about the 1000 days. It's about me engraving the identity shift and me and showing up despite not wanting to. And so having this mindset right now, having this outlook, and knowing that I'm going to hit it at 41, my 1001, I know that it was God's plan. I know that God needed for me to realize this in order to continue growing, in order for me to continue evolving, in order for me to have this continuous expansion that I'm after. You see, this is the season where most men, where they coast, where they repeat the same things that they've been doing over and over again and haven't gotten the results that they wanted. When they start going on a decline, when they start fucking, I'm 40, bro, I'm fucking old, my back hurts, Bro, you know how many fucking people I've been hearing that shit from? And then I look at their habits, I look at their actions, I look how they live their life, and of course you fucking feel like that. You ain't doing shit. You're fucking one dimension. But when you become multi-dimensional and you work on your mind, on body, on your spirit, on your relationships, on your career, on your fucking passions, dog, you become different. You become on fire. You lead from a different place. You see, you're rebuilding yourself daily, dog. And when you realize that it takes you showing up day after day after day after day and doing it despite you no matter what, that's when you develop this inner confidence. That's when you develop this inner strength. That's when you develop this inner fucking knowing that no matter what comes your way, you're going to fucking make it happen. That's when you know that peace comes from growth, not from arriving at some fucking milestone. And so as we wrap up this episode, though, my question for you is this, my brother. Are your daily actions based on how you feel or on who you've decided to become? Big difference right there. Because if your daily actions are all based on how you feel rather on who you decided that you want to become, then you probably won't become who you've decided to become, because you're just giving in to your feelings. And so my challenge for you, dog, is for the next 100 days, and yes, I said 100 days, 100 days, create your non-negotiables. Create your daily identity list. Create your daily tasks that you must hit in order to transform yourself into the man that you want to become. Not for the results, not for the clout, not for the fame, not for the likes, but because you want to become that man. And then execute on it. Don't debate on it. Don't negotiate on it. No mood requirements. Just straight up fucking action. You see, the 1,000 days, they didn't make me perfect, dog. They made me consistent. They transformed my mind, my identity, and what I believe I can do because I've been showing up day after day after day. They've literally made me more consistent. And consistency turns ordinary man into fucking legacy builders. So don't you dare fucking think about quitting. Don't you fucking dare think about giving up. Don't you fucking dare think about not showing up for yourself. Because you got what it takes. I believe in you. Even if you don't believe in yourself, my brother, I believe in you. And actually, know this. You do not need to believe in yourself in order to show up. I actually will argue that, and it actually will tell you that for me showing up day after day after day after day, I can tell you that you show up first and then you create the belief. So if you don't believe right now, just focus on showing up. Focus on doing the damn thing. Focus on doing what you said you wanted to do, despite you not believing that you can become that. And I promise you that if you show up long enough, and you stay consistent enough, you will create that belief in yourself and you will start fucking feeling like the man who doesn't fucking quit. Let's get it. I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, claiming victory for every single wide open warrior who's out there. My brother, this is your wake-up call. Break the chains, step out of the average, and become that badass motherfucker that you were born to be. This Live Wide Open movement isn't just a podcast. This is a mission that God has stamped in my heart, and helping you rise is the purpose I live for. So lock this shit in, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And you have today's message, and let that fire in your chest, my brother. Then don't you dare keep this shit to yourself. Fuel another brother. Send this to another motorhead. Send this to another gearhead. Send this to another warrior who's hungry for more. Because the truth of the matter is that building a better life for your family is non-negotiable. You've got people who are depending on you. You've got a legacy to create. And those excuses that keep popping up in your mind, my brother, they're never going to feed the fucking table. That's why it's time to get up. That's why it's time to log in. And that's why it's time to get to fucking work, dog. This is your moment. This is your mission. This is your movement. And Wide Open is the fucking way. Let's go.